Always do it on my own, so I gotta get through it. And the only thing I know is to love what I'm doing. Never give up, never slow, till I finally prove it. Never listen to the no's, I just wanna keep moving. Keep my head up when I act, head up, that's a fact. Never looking back, I'ma keep myself on track. Keep my head up, staying strong, always moving on. Feel I don't belong, tell my thoughts to move along. Push myself to be the best, die with no regrets. Live with every breath, see my message start to spread. And I had so many dreams, then you hit your teens. Life ain't really what it seems, try to find out what it means. Always do it on my own, so I gotta get through it. And the only thing I know is to love what I'm doing. Never give up, never slow, till I finally prove it. Never listen to the no's, I just wanna keep moving. Yeah, I put out all this art, it's my only medicine. Yeah, everything I do, I'm just being genuine. Yeah, I'm sick of being screwed, feel my own adrenaline. Yeah, I do just what I do, and I hope you let me in, yeah. I'm grateful, oh yeah, able, oh yeah, I'm stable, oh yeah, no label, oh yeah, you know me, I have only a path, I'm lonely, but damn, I'm going to win. I don't want no fake love, I want the real stuff. Everybody listen up, cause I'll only say it once. I'm gonna show you all the path, if you want it bad. I'm gonna show you where it's at, yeah, how you can get it back. Yeah, cause I ain't never done, I'll be number one. Working hella hard until I get just what I want, yeah. Rises like the sun, yeah, fatal like a gun. Shooter's gonna shoot and I'm gonna shoot until I won, yeah. Always do it on my own, so I gotta get through it. And the only thing I know is to love what I'm doing. Never give up, never slow, till I finally prove it. Never listen to the no's, I just wanna keep moving. Yeah, I put out all this art, it's my only medicine. Yeah, everything I do, I'm just being genuine. Yeah, I'm sick of being screwed, feel my own adrenaline. Yeah, I do just what I do, and I hope you let me in, yeah. Grateful, oh yeah, able, oh yeah, I'm stable, oh yeah, no label, oh yeah, you know me, I have only a path, I'm lonely, but damn, I'm going to win, yeah. Always do it on my own, so I gotta get through it. And the only thing I know is to love what I'm doing. Never give up, never slow, till I finally prove it. Never listen to the no's, I just wanna keep moving. Keep my head up when I act, head up, that's a fact. Never looking back, I'ma keep myself on track. Keep my head up, staying strong, always moving on. Feel I don't belong, tell my thoughts to move along. Push myself to be the best, die with no regrets. Live with every breath, see my message start to spread. And I had so many dreams, then you hit your teens. Life ain't really what it seems, try to find out what it means. Always do it on my own, so I gotta get through it. And the only thing I know is to love what I'm doing. Never give up, never slow, till I finally prove it. Never listen to the no's, I just wanna keep moving. Yeah, I put out all this art, it's my only medicine. Yeah, everything I do, I'm just being genuine. Yeah, I'm sick of being screwed, feel my own adrenaline. Yeah, I do just what I do, and I hope you let me in, yeah. I'm grateful, oh yeah, able, oh yeah, I'm stable, oh yeah, no label, oh yeah, you know me, I have only a path, I'm lonely, but damn, I'm going to win. I don't want no fake love, I want the real stuff. Everybody listen up, cause I'll only say it once. I'm gonna show you all the path, if you want it bad. I'm gonna show you where it's at, yeah, how you can get it back. Yeah, cause I ain't never done, I'll be number one.
Happy Memorial Day, up and coming. Hope you guys have plans for the weekend. Here it's like 86 degrees, so it's beautiful. And I'm probably going to go up north to a lake called Lake Arthur. For those of you like in the Butler County area or maybe Pittsburgh area know about Lake Arthur. It's like the greatest kind of hidden gem in this area. It's the only place in Pennsylvania besides like up in Erie where there's like a beach. There's a beach on the lake with sand. So I'm fucking pumped about that. Hope you guys are too. Got some questions, so that's great. A couple things I want to talk about before we get some people in the stream and get into Q&A. You know, one of the major topics that has been, well, really in my email inbox, I guess ongoingly since I've talked about AIs and steered people away from the folks on the web that suggest that you don't take AIs or manage estradiol, is microdosing AIs. And that really is the best way to go. Unfortunately, look, I mean, anastrozole is a hard drug to take. It's a hard drug to dial in. The half-life is 48 hours, but that can be different for different people. It's still actually inhibiting aromatase at like hour 36, just to a lesser extent. And, you know, and people are over responders to that drug. However, on TRT, the single contributor to a shitty experience, to lack of sexual function, is estrogen. I mean, that's just it. I've seen it enough in my work and enough in the scientific literature to draw that conclusion. It's just true. So, you know, look, as I've always suggested, the best way to go about this, and I actually do have a like a kind of a screenshot for you guys, would be the following. It'd be to try to get your hands on these. Okay, so here is Defy Medical's website, and so I'm a member of their clinic. And they have a bunch of different options when it comes to anastrozole. One of them is this is compounded 0.125 milligram tablet. Okay. I will shrink myself just a little bit more so you guys can see that. Let me put myself back there. Yeah. So that's a 0.125 milligram tablet. If you get a $6 pill cutter from Amazon, you can split them in half and then you've got 006. It is unlikely that 006 is going to cause joint pain for people, right? And any bone mineral density loss or any kind of weird things. But as testosterone is rising, especially if you're injecting daily, and estradiol is being suppressed a little bit, therein you're going to find your sexual function. You know, and you may need more than that. You may need less than that. You can split that 006 in half. One of the other interesting things I found on their website, which I haven't messed with yet, is they've got 0.1 milligram tablets. Or capsule, basically, of anastrozole. So what that means is the previous option was 0.125, whereas this is just 0.1. So it'd be like 0.10 milligrams of anastrozole. If you split that in half, you got 0.05. That's really fucking good, right? You know, to dial in on TRT. So just something for folks to consider. You know, I mean, these guys get it through Empower Pharmacy, and that's the prescription. That's ultimately the pharmacy that would fulfill something like compounded anastrozole. So, you know, whether your clinic is Defy or otherwise, like they can write you a prescription for 0.1 milligrams anastrozole or 0.125 milligram compounded tablets. They can write you that script. You'll have to have them send it to Empower Pharmacy in Texas, and then Empower will ship it to your doorstep. All right. All over the place, guys realize that they have to microdose AIs. Like here's a Reddit thread where a guy talks about 0.125 milligram tablets can be broken in half and dosed every other day. Well, that's a good strategy. Every third day, a good strategy for people. You know, I would probably stay away from dissolving it in a liquid because there are suggestions to dial in your AI dose by dissolving it in vodka. You know, you put like a milligram in some amount of vodka and somehow you're able to microdose it. I don't know. I really never looked into it, but I wouldn't suggest people do that. Here's a guy that's got the 0.1 milligram capsules. Okay. Again, take your prescription to a compounding pharmacy, which you can use Empower Pharmacy in Texas. Second thing I want to quickly talk about as we filter more people in here is that I have had a litany of emails, well, I mean, emails, YouTube comments, just communication all around the web of people that have got on prop and are now doing much better. So I'm very happy to have like kind of put that forth and popularized the notion of going on a short, onsetting or a fast onsetting, short-lived ester. I'm really happy about that because like I've seen it in my coaching work. I've seen it in myself. Like I'm probably going to go back to fucking prop, honestly. I just, the post-injection pain was getting a little annoying and I wanted to try Inanthate and see kind of how I feel and whatever. Haven't ran a real big cycle of that. But I've got a lot of people that said they had a lot better time. And that is music to my ears and makes my fucking heart feel good because I know what it's like not to be dialed in on TRT. And I also know what it's like when you feel great and the sexual system works again. So I'm happy. Prop isn't going to be for everybody. It is a pain in the ass. You have to inject it every day or every other day, and it can come with PIP. But look, man, I mean, the way that it onsets and the way that it aromatizes is going to be a better energy profile, sexual profile for a lot of people. And you're still anabolic on the stuff, regardless of whether or not it's a short ester. So I really love Prop, and I'm happy so far that, people have gotten a good experience from it. Anything else I want to quickly talk about? Nope, that's it. All right, so let's get to questions and see if we can jumpstart the discussion here. What's up, Johnny? Hope you're good, brother. Yeah, the intro song's pretty cool. I've been looking for another one, but I keep coming back to that one because it's like honestly the best. What's up, Sam? Hope you're great. Ishmael's got a question about nootropics. All right, so what's the best and safe nootropics to work for, it works fast for better memory and active recall? Quickest onsetting nootropic for that? Safest? Quite honestly, nasal Noopept spray. Not oral Noopept, but nasal Noopept spray. Like 1 or 2 sprays of nasal Noopept spray. Otherwise, you'd be looking at PRL 853. Matt, what besides prolactin... what raises prolactin besides sex and masturbation? Wow. Okay. Estradiol past a certain range consistently will raise prolactin. So if you're pushing 40, 50, you're probably not going to have, you have marginal increases in prolactin, but if you're pushing 60 to 80 picograms per milliliter, or I don't know what the range is, like 400 plus picomolars per liter, then you're going to probably be raising prolactin as a result. Look, people forget or don't know that one of the there's a few stimulants to the cells on the pituitary that produce prolactin, the lactotropes. One of them is estradiol. So estradiol is one of them. If you do anything to block dopamine D2 receptors, which you can do with kratom, you can do with any opioid drug, any supplement that is an opioid receptor agonist, even at a marginal capacity, you're going to block the D2 receptors, and so dopamine can't bind to them and shut down prolactin release. So prolactin is just going to kind of go, somewhat non-judiciously in secretion mode. So prolactin is going to, if you block the D2 receptors, prolactin is just going to fucking secrete. Eventually, you probably end up with a adenoma, pituitary tumor. But that takes some time. Other things that raise prolactin. Oh, alcohol directly raises prolactin. Okay, that's one of the reasons for whiskey dick, which is when you can't perform sex. If you're a male, you have erectile dysfunction and maybe your libido is fine, but your dick doesn't work. That's prolactin, as well as aromatization to estradiol in the acute period. What the fuck else raises prolactin? There's an argument for cannabis potentially raising prolactin via estrogenic mechanisms. And I'm sure there's other things that I'm forgetting, but those are the main offenders. Yeah. All right. Yankee Apple asks, is it normal for TRT to raise creatine in bun to the high normal range? Well, it's as long as it's still in high normal range, I think you're fine. One of the things that I think is probably going on in these weird situations where like kidney values change is estradiol, testosterone to an extent, but estradiol heavily controls your fluid dynamics, water retention, water excretion. The lower the estradiol, the more you're going to be urinating if you drink a lot of water, or God forbid you have psychogenic polydipsia, where you think you need to drink a gallon or 2 of water a day, but you don't. People don't need to drink that much water. And then you're urinating too frequently. You're diluting your urine. You're stressing your kidney, and those markers might fucking change. So, other than that, unless you have an impaired kidney, historically, which you could measure by like EGFR, like looking at your filtration rate in your kidney, then I don't see a mechanism for this. Not saying there isn't one, but those would be my best shots at it. Adam takes 1/8 of I assume a milligram of anastrozole as needed only. Absolutely, man. Yeah. You don't necessarily have to dose it on a schedule. If the dose is too high of anastrozole, this is where people get into trouble dosing it on a schedule, right? Because if you haven't done the blood work on day 3 to see where it's rising again and where that is, you don't know which day to dose what dose of anastrozole, whether day 2, day 3, day 4. I have done the blood work, so let me remember this. I was at, where was I? 30, I think. Yeah. And my dick and my libido loves to be between 15 and 25 picograms per milliliter. I can get by on 30, but I am insatiable and rock hard all the time when I'm 15 to 25. And I don't have problems so long as it's just steady state and I'm not knocking it down below that. 0.125 milligrams of anastrozole I was 35 picograms per milliliter. It would take me down to 18 on day 2. So the day after dosing it, I go down to 18 picograms per milliliter. I've got that measured on my Quest labs. On day 3, so after the half-life is reached and half of the drug is out of your system, half is still in the system affecting you, my estradiol starts rising, but it's only 23 picograms per milliliter at day 3. So I'm at 35, I take 0.125, it goes down to 18 on day 2. Day 3, it's at 23 picograms per milliliter. Now, I didn't measure it after that, but day 5, it'd probably be about 30, and day 6, it'd be 35 or above at that point, right? So, unless you know that, it's hard to dose. You have to know what's going on. Again, I've always said what's really worked best for me when the libido and erections start going awry, which is always estradiol for me personally, and a lot of my clients, it's 003, 006, or 009 milligrams of anastrozole, and that fixes the problem relatively quickly. Too much of a drop in estradiol for me, and I lose libido for a day or two. So I've got to microdose AIs because I'm very close to that sweet spot with my doses usually. It's just that sometimes I got to take it down a little bit. Also, running Proviron would help. Yep, absolutely. Excess estrogen will raise prolactin, no question. The capsules can't be split. If they're 0.10, you can probably open it up and dump half in another capsule. I mean, if you really want to be a biohacker in this regard, you should have either single 0 or double 0 capsules, empty capsules around so that you can do things like this. When's the last time I had to do anything regarding that? I was taking iron for a while. So I was using, these 00 capsules to just spread out some of the iron because that shit causes GI distress if you take a lot of it. I don't know what else. So I was putting my 9-MABC in the 00 capsules. So there's that. Latest best growth hormone peptide protocols. I don't know, man. It's something that it's actually something I'm looking to get into relatively soon. So I'll have more information for you, moving forward because I'm trying to find a way without androgens to induce more animalism, right? Because sure, I could use a DHT derivative. I could use Proviron, which actually is more anabolic than people think. But that's going to eventually just cause some shedding and hair loss and more acne, etc. Eventually. I mean, I think it's a very, very great drug otherwise. Sure, I could use some Anavar, a little bit stressful on the liver. Like people think that I'm non-judiciously taking compounds. I take this very fucking seriously and do not want to mess with my health. So anyway, I'll be getting into that soon. Fella! What's up, fella? What's up, brother? What would you say are the main benefits of Coluracetam? Coluracetam will help you use more of the choline that you inherently have via fostering choline uptake into neurons via a process called high affinity choline uptake. It's a very unique compound, right? So, you really don't even need to dose more choline with it. You just eat eggs, make sure you're eating beef or fish or something. You have enough choline. Maybe take a choline supplement and like a B complex. And then you'll be uptaking more choline into neurons to be synthesized into usable acetylcholine at that point. Matt, my prolactin was 12.1. I was able to lower it to 9.1 with Cabergoline. What would be the ideal range to maintain? Honestly, for sexual function, 4 to 8 nanograms per milliliter is what I would suggest. Cab, that must have been a small dose of Cab because Cab is very fucking powerful stuff, and that shit will lower your prolactin quickly. I've used it, and it certainly lowered my prolactin. I've had clients use it. That shit's very powerful. And safe up till a cumulative dose of 300 milligrams, which no one would even reach. Just trying to think if there's anything else here. Yeah, I mean, after that, if you want to maintenance dose something like Shasandra, if you want to just maintenance dose Shasandra, that would be a good idea, okay? Because in the literature, Shasandra lowers prolactin. It's even suggested for pituitary adenomas. It's like, okay, this is a possible route for prolactinomas that are out of control lactotrips screening a bunch of prolactin. So Shasandra will lower prolactin levels. That's why it's such a great chemical and why I love it so much. And I take it every day just to kind of keep the sexual function as optimal as possible. Matt's got a follow up with Defy. Also a member. I'm definitely going to get on test prop. Great. My question about prop is how can I shallow IM since I'm overweight male? Delts. Delts would be the best option. Otherwise, though, I don't know, man. You might want to bite the bullet and get like a 5/8 inch needle, still a thin 5/8 inch needle, and do the ventral glutes, and that'll probably be somewhere between shallow and deep IM, kind of get you in the middle, but still get you where you need to go. Like if I were you, I would do that because, you know, sub-Q prop hurts. It, you know, I mean, you can warm the oil up. I've tried 3 different manufacturers, one of which was UGL, but the other were pharmaceutical. No difference. Just fucking PIP. So, you know, something to think about, brother. But great. As I said at the beginning, I'm just getting endless emails and comments and stuff saying, hey, I switched to prop and my life is so much better now. Thank you for making it popular. Yeah, bro. I mean, I don't know. It just happened to be useful for me. And it happened to be useful for like 12 fucking clients of mine, you know, around the time I started talking about it. So no one else was. Everyone poo-poos prop. They're like, yeah, why use prop? Because you can just inject, you know, cypionate or enanthate. It's convenient. It's like, yeah, it's not about convenience. What if you can't achieve sexual function? What if your energy is far better on prop? And what if your body responds better to troughs? And what if you want to induce a little bit of HPG activity via less suppression with a fast-acting ester? There's just so many benefits to it, man. I'll inject shallow intramuscular when I go back, but you know, I wanted to give enanthate a good run, and yeah, I like it. I can dial anything in. It just takes time, and with longer esters, you usually have to dose a little bit of an AI or DHT derivative or something to manage the estradiol. Otherwise, you're taking your dose down into fucking oblivion, you know, to nowhere, to non-anabolic zone, to non-energy zone, which is stupid. So who knows? You know, I've got a lot of prop, and you know, Defy prescribed me prop so I can get it. Who knows? Who knows? I love the shit. And the more we talk about it, the more I'm like, I'm just going to go on prop and stay on prop for the rest of my life. Who knows? Dan Z is saying, Mucuna and IBC, which one is stronger? Well, listen, when you guys ask these questions, you got to think about what each one of them does. Stronger how? Mucuna will increase dopamine for an acute period, you know, no more than a day, probably less. 9-MeBC restores like the synthesis enzymes that make you make more dopamine and upregulates gene activity that makes you make dopamine, as well as creates and then matures dopamine neurons. So huge difference. Ryan, quick opinion on Centrophenoxine galantamine stack. That might be overkill, but it might be fine. I mean, people are going to respond to cholinergic agonists or choline modifying chemicals differently. So you're going to have to see. You're inhibiting choline esterase with the galantamine, and centrophenoxine is not a choline precursor. It is what does it do? It steals choline from peripheral tissues and sends them in the brain to agonize choline receptors, acetylcholine receptors. Give me 1 second, guys. So, you know, it's not entirely the same as a choline precursor. It's just a little bit different. All right. My light went out over here. It went to sleep. Can hormone levels also, Nick is asking, be too stable? For example, when you inject anything daily? Yes. Good question. Now, look, no one besides me is going to say yes to this. No one. And I don't fucking care. I think I see shit that people don't see. Obviously, like, you know, dude, I ran TRT protocol consultations for years now, but like there was a period where I dropped the price down very low and I was getting 4 or 5 a day. I got to see so much during that time, boys. And in general, libido and erection problems come more with longer esters disproportionately. And the reason that this happens is, look, somebody actually said this on Reddit recently. I wish I had the posts. I would show you guys. You know, guy goes, people think steady state is so great, but what people are sort of lacking an understanding of is like the pharmacokinetics and the half-lives really of these longer esters. You're getting and injecting daily. You're getting constant spillover. First of all, steady state estradiol, but spillover. You're getting spillover. You're not going to just stay the same. You're getting this constant spillover. And whether or not the serum says 32 picograms per milliliter or not, like, you still might have sexual dysfunction. Like that number, the serum is useful as a surrogate potentially for what's going on at the tissue level, but still that's not accurate. We don't even have a way to measure what's happening at the tissue level, and scientists fucking admit that in this discussion in the scientific literature. They actually admit it. There's like a bunch of authors on this one paper that admit we can't measure that, and that's a problem. So you have this constant spillover of estradiol that never gets a break. These tissues have receptors in them: penile tissue, cardiac tissue, brain tissue, otherwise tissue. They've got estrogen receptors. Pituitary fucking has estrogen. They're everywhere. Your eyes. And so if you don't get a break at the receptor level, that is unnatural. It is unnatural for that to happen. And so, like, especially at penile tissue where you're increasing growth factor, vascular endothelial growth factor, that causes an occlusive disorder, venous leakage, if you will. And that causes ED, man. You know, that I like these guys. Like, I had recently a somewhat popular YouTuber who was on, or a guy that's on the TRT hormone optimization channel every now and then, named Keith Nichols, like, tell me estradiol's living rent free in my fucking head. And I said, sure, as it should, and posted him, you know, the study that said 32 picograms per milliliter is the cutoff for ED. And that estradiol past a certain range is the fucking cause for venous occlusive disorder and venous leakage. It's like, I've been in the scientific literature. Like, what the fuck? You know, it's like people are just weird with this. But yeah, that's the bottom line. You got a constant spillover with this via these long-acting esters. They may be fine for some people. It seems as if they are. You know, I don't like long esters unless I'm dosing infrequently or very low dose. And even then, so infrequently is actually fine. 70 milligrams every fourth day, and my dick was hard, and I was very interested in sex and all that kind of stuff. Wasn't the best for energy. You know, low dose cypionate, 110 milligrams or so is fine. Maybe DHT derivative here and there, maybe a little AI, but largely okay. But yeah, you know, this is the establishment, if you will, going, let's have this grand idea to make an ester last 8 days. It's like, bro, or 12. We don't need it to last that long. All right. You know, people should stop bitching and start fucking injecting prop every day. Matt, what is the mechanism of action that caused PSSD on Nefazodone? My doctor told me at the time, this medication doesn't cause that. And now look where I'm at. Let me look at what it does. Dude, really? Just looking at the mechanism of action here, Matt. Yeah, inhibiting the reuptake of serotonin and norepinephrine. Mechanism of action is serotonergic activity causing prolactogenic activity, which is shutting down tidal dopamine neurons, hypothalamus, dopamine function, and therefore gonadotropin inhibition for a considerable period of time, probably penile atrophy, blood flow, lack of blood flow in the penis, maybe like a dysregulation of neurosteroids at the time, because SSRIs have an effect on neurosteroids. They may have been inhibiting, because prolactin is an inhibitor of 5-alpha reductase, so you're probably not making enough DHT. And starving your tissues of all these androgens for some, you know, considerable period of time with SSRIs is going to cause sexual dysfunction. So, you know, the way out is usually TRT HCG, managing estradiol, a good degree of PSSD coaching people that I've dealt with over aromatize. I mean, the fucking stories, like I could show you blood work of people on 30 milligrams of test and 700 IU HCG, and the estradiol is significantly over range. Tell me that person's not over aromatizing. So I found mechanisms in their blood work, you know, I found some mechanisms to explain some of their, you know, ongoing issues and shit. But there's a lot, you know. If I were you, I'd get on a base dose of test, probably prop, 500 IU HCG twice a week, and I would be running a DHT derivative like Proviron, and I'd run 10 milligrams Cialis a day. FTPP or FTTP, the fat strangler safe. What, brother? Ryan, are you specialized on kind of diet to support all these supplements? Keto and carnivore. Okay. Keto and carnivore are good diets to lose weight. They're good diets to temporarily change the dynamics of your metabolism from using glucose to fuel cells to using amino acids and fatty acids to fuel cells. However, that latter state is a downregulated metabolic state and is essentially what your body knows it should do or is geared to do in starvation. So at the molecular level, at the cellular level, it's cellular starvation if you do it for a long time. This is why people that do keto do carb refeeds, because you can't go without them. That'd be my take on that. I mean, if you can get away with 4 or 5 days of keto during the week and you feel fucking great and you have a large carb refeed in the weekend and all your markers look good, who am I to say don't do it? But I'll tell you what, many people have come to me and fucked up their health very significantly. Not just like thyroid hormones significantly low, testosterone tanked, but a lack of diversity in the microbiota. So they have like massively depleted bifido species and they have massively depleted other gut bacteria species to the point where they have like overgrowths in their small intestine of fucking gram-positive species and Archaeobacter, which cause them to ferment all of their food and have reflux and bloating and SIBO. So no bueno, brother. No bueno. Eat the carbs, or have carb refeeds. How to last longer, given that no problem with erection? The way you would last longer is by increasing serotonin or increasing prolactin. That's the way you would last longer. Yeah. Interestingly, sildenafil will increase prolactin to a degree. This is why, in part, people that take sildenafil or Viagra last longer. Okay. And there are ED drugs that make you last longer ultimately because they erase prolactin. So trying to think of a safe way or a smart way to raise prolactin. There really isn't one, because you're talking about antipsychotics or opioid receptor agonists or dopamine D2 receptor antagonists. So I just wouldn't want to do that if I were you. But you could take a whole bunch of 5-HTP and, not enough to cause serotonin syndrome, but enough to raise serotonin and raise prolactin, and you're going to last longer. That's for sure, brother. Yeah, it's funny, man, because that whole system... You could also go hypothyroid. If you're hypothyroid, it's going to take forever to come. You could raise your estradiol. You could raise your estradiol to 40, 50 picograms per milliliter or more. And after it stays there for a good bit, it's going to take a while for you to climax. Yeah, or you go hypothyroid. Yeah. That's just, but keeping that in balance is an important thing, like during sex. I think that's important. And I've manipulated that personally, right? Realizing like, okay, like as an example, I was taking 1.5 capsules of the thyroid, freeze dried bovine thyroid supplement from New Zealand that I've been taking that I fucking love. So for a while I was taking a little bit more than 1 capsule, and that takes you closer to hyperthyroid. Just below that level is good levels of thyroid hormones, but if you're hyperthyroid, you will come quicker. And that was actually happening. So I had to dial that back. So, I generally like to, I don't know, maybe this is TMI, but switch positions, give it a little break, do a little foreplay in between. Like, my sex is like 40 minutes long typically. And I will certainly get the fuck out of there. If I feel climax coming, I'll get the fuck out of there and just tell honey to chill for a second. All right, Nathan, can you drop a hint as to how to acquire racetams? Nope. We can't talk about that, bro. I mean, you got to use your brain. Get creative. Go to the Nootropic subreddit. It's real fucking simple. People are just waiting for someone to give them a source. You got to talk to people. You got to know people and talk to them. Because I got in touch with and connected to Vigorous Steve, I had sources for all kinds of shit, but when it came to good quality pharmaceutical grade sources for for androgens and stuff and fertility medication, that dude opened me up to a source that fucking changed the game, dude. So you got to know people. Breathing might help you last longer. I don't know. Thoughts on optimizing pregnenolone and progesterone? You got to watch progesterone. You get too far in progestogenic activity and you start fucking watching trans porn. And I've had stories, bro. I've had clients come to me, on God, what the fuck were they on? Was it Trenbolone? I don't remember. It was a very progestogenic steroid, and the guy was like, "Brother, I am not gay, but I am feeling like I am suddenly." So you got to watch the progesterone, bro. Pregnenolone as a supplement, I think, is maybe marginally useful. I don't have a whole lot of experience with it. It never really did anything for me historically. I think I remember it giving me some good energy for a brief period, and then that kind of fell by the wayside. So I don't know. BioBuilder, racetams, not legal in the USA. Yes, they are. They're just not classified as anything. So what it is you can't sell them. You can't sell them for people to use, but you can still sell them for research purposes and under that kind of guise of research, only kind of thing. There's no legal, like barring or limitation from you buying and having them, right? So I still have oxiracetam and aniracetam from Nootropic's depot because I bought a lot of it, and it's perfectly legal. If a cops came to my place for one reason or another, they searched it, it's legal. Reliable Andrew is asking me if I'd ever do cornrows again. Yeah, my hair's not long enough now, no question. It's just not even close. But no, I don't think so. I mean, me having long hair was like I had short hair and was forced to have short hair in the military for years. That's why every army guy you see worth their weight in salt has a fucking beard. And so I did that for a while, like I was still short hair for some time, and then I grew it all out, didn't shave the beard. I looked like an animal. I don't think that I was very attractive. So never again, bro. The thyroid product I'm taking is, let me see if I can find it for you guys. And there it is. Give me a second. Because I'll show it to you, brother. All right, that's the stuff right there. This is the stuff that I take every day. 1 capsule. All right, 1 capsule every day. You're getting 200 milligrams of thyroid bovine freeze-dried from New Zealand. This is the best stuff you can get. I mean, you could get other desiccated thyroid, which are like prescription medications in other countries, but this stuff will suffice and will change your numbers. I verified that via blood work. And the energy on this shit is second to none. Second to none. I will never, as long as this is available, I'll never not take it. And the moment that somehow this isn't available, like this particular brand, I'll find another desiccated bovine thyroid supplement. But that's the stuff. Evolved Elements Thyroid. You can literally get it on Amazon. It's $44 a bottle. So this is 60 capsules. This lasts me 2 months. So, I mean, $21, $22 a day, $22 a month rather. That's not bad. It's just not bad. Brother, Nootropic's Depot was always solid. Sad they're gone now. I've had my racetam stock for years at massive discounts from bulk quantity. Definitely. Yeah, that's the way to go, for sure. Yeah, I still have a lot of racetams left. I use them when I'm doing heavy focus work or memory work. Writing courses are a good use case for racetams for me. I also like how I feel on aniracetam, so I'll just dose that for the hell of it. I just like feeling smarter and better. How to raise testosterone levels besides TRT? Honestly, you're better off because there's one way to do it, which is to take 20 supplements, everything from vitamin D to pine pollen to fenugreek to cystange to fucking, God knows what, lots of other things. Work on the androgen receptors via L-carnitine, L-tartrate. But ultimately, you got to take a lot of stuff. Fedosia agressus, Penix ginseng, all these things together would probably raise your testosterone a good bit if you're a natty under the age of 37 or so. But then you're stressing your liver and they might come with additional side effects, etc. So you're better off going with either Kisspeptin 10 or gonadorelin and just injecting it. And to from the hypothalamus point of view, make testosterone, or in HCG's case from the testicles perspective, make testosterone. Otherwise, nothing. Otherwise, go on TRT. Brother. No. So desiccated thyroid prescription, which is very, very powerful stuff, probably more potent than the stuff that I'm buying, I believe is regulated in the US. I'm not entirely sure, but it is a prescription elsewhere. Like it is something that you've got to get prescribed. I'm pretty sure you can get, prescribed from a doctor, desiccated, I think it's bovine or like some other animal thyroid, hormones basically in a medication. But, the Evolved Elements thyroid supplement, I tried 2 other before this and it changed my energy a little bit, but didn't move my T3. The Evolved Elements changed my thyroid numbers in a positive way. Okay. So that stuff's very fucking awesome. Crypto Crayon bought new pet from Swiss Cams. I'm noticing any difference. I'm noticing any difference after 4 months ideas. Do you mean you're not noticing a difference? I don't know. Can't tell you because I don't know your dose, brother. And I don't know what your brain state is. You got to include context. Context. I hope you guys got plans for Memorial Day. I'm going to go to a lake up north in PA here called Lake Arthur. I'm very excited about it. It is my favorite lake in this area because like on the western part of Pennsylvania, there are no beaches and shit. And I'm from the beach over in South Jersey and PA. So it's like, you know, I miss the beach, whatever, but I can go to Erie or I can go to Lake Arthur, and I'm very, very excited to do that. Yeah, this is a too high of a dose of Nootropic, far too high. You want a dose between 5 and 7 milligrams. DJ Millen, what do you think of Nefazodone? I think that's the only racetam that in canine studies is kidney toxic, so you might want to watch out. Don't know how that's going to translate to humans because it's not the same. You might be fine, right? Dogs can't eat theobromine because it'll kill them. You know, cats can't eat certain plants because it'll kill them. So our bodies are different for sure. I surely will. Oh, Trey's going canoeing. Awesome, bro. I bet you're fucking pumped about that, man. I hope you're pumped and I hope you have a good time. Matt, when I took Cabergoline to lower prolactin, I didn't get any relief from anhedonia. Why is that? Yes, I did take Adderall for a really short amount of time, like 3 days, and I got it. So did the Adderall cause your anhedonia, or was that the Nefazodone that caused your anhedonia? Cabergoline is merely D2 receptor agonist. So if dopamine projection is a big problem in your brain, Cab won't help. Like it's not going to fix the anhedonia induced by like a lack of dopamine firing everywhere. You know, it's just D2 receptor agonist. I mean, it's other places besides the pituitary, but it's not the whole brain. It's not just a non-judicious dopamine D2 receptor agonist. So, you know, there's also other dopamine receptors, D1, the D2, the D2-like family, which is a whole host of other receptors, dopamine receptors that would need to be agonized and fully functional in order for dopamine to work well and to have anhedonia resolved. Yeah, that'd be my take on that, brother. What else? Yeah, this week. So Memorial Day is Monday. There won't be content coming this week. Or at least Monday, probably Wednesday, we'll start content again. So look forward to that. Specials on product. I think the codes should be down in the description of this video. So there are still specials on both of our nootropic sacks, 35%, 25% off. Huge discounts right now, boys. So go get those products, livecortex.com. If anybody ends up watching that needs coaching, I am close to fully booked. I've got 3 slots left. So I had 4 last week. That shows you how quick they're going. Those of you business people or entrepreneurs or serious individuals with a budget, you got to book me as soon as you can. Any other questions, guys? If you got them, post them and we'll get them on the screen. Nico is asking how to increase orgasm intensity after PSSD on TRT. Again, you might want to be doing more than just TRT if you had PSSD. Yeah. Again, the DHT derivatives are pretty effective in these cases. If TRT, HCG, and managing estradiol is not doing it for you, then you might want to bring in Proviron at that point. You know, you might want to run test prop, daily injections, and run HCG and run Proviron to manage both the estradiol as well as to modulate the androgen receptors in a way which upregulates them further, the binding domains, not just the receptors themselves. So, that's one of the things that I would suggest. Also, dopamine is pretty heavily underrated as an orgasm quality chemical, right? It is the antithesis of serotonin, which is inhibitory to orgasm quality. You're also going to most definitely want to manage estradiol because past a certain range, it's going to completely diminish your everything, your erection quality, but also your orgasm quality. Live show. I like these. Awesome, brother. Adderall did cause my anhedonia. That's a hard one. Yeah, I mean, it causes a lack of projection of dopamine because you have inhibited the reuptake, so you got all this dopamine around. So, like, you know, the origination points of dopamine go, I don't really need to make more dopamine at this point, you know? I can downregulate that, and that causes dopaminergic problems. That's why I wouldn't suggest taking that consistently. Guy goes, I've seen 2 Cortex Labs videos about combining tyrosine and uridine monophosphate. One was for it, another was against it. What's your opinion on it these days? Well, look, some people respond to it fine. I personally don't. Like, people can take tyrosine and uridine together and they'll get a synergistic effect. I'm not entirely sure how they're doing that, but uridine always offsetted tyrosine for me. It just I would never get that stimulant energy effect from tyrosine. I've got theories on mechanisms on why, but, you know, I kind of just let it go and realized I shouldn't stack them together. Same thing with tyrosine and 5-HTP. Can Fedosia offset testicular shutdown caused by TRT? There are reports of that. Never seen a paper on it, which maybe there aren't papers on it. Doesn't mean it isn't true, but there are reports of that. So you might have to just investigate yourself. And the only way you could prove if it's having that positive effect is to run luteinizing hormone labs and FSH labs. So Nebido, I believe, is a pretty long-acting ester as far as I remember. Is that it? It's like 21-day half-life or something crazy. I wouldn't be able to tell you how to optimize that, for libido, other than like I have seen on the forums, people having a good response to that stuff. It's like, yeah, people have a better response to real long esters, but a shitty response to cypionate and enanthate, and then a better response to real short esters. So I don't know, bro. I just don't know. Why? That's weird. Wonder why that is a weird one. Anyway, I've never tried it, and I don't think I will. I don't think I will try Nebido ever. Yeah, there's still protocols that I haven't tried. Like, just out of curiosity, like that's the reason I'm on enanthate, because I haven't tried enanthate for a long time. But one protocol I haven't personally tried is 100 milligrams every 5th day of a long ester. So you never, like, for experimentation purposes, I may do that at some point in the future. Who knows? There's a guy that swears by that named the Anabolic Doc on YouTube, popular YouTuber, doctor, fucking smart guy, funny guy to watch, Seems like a real good guy. What else haven't I tried? I haven't tried 200 milligrams at a time with like 0.25 milligrams of anastrozole, but I don't usually respond to bolus doses of testosterone very well. Probably won't try that. Matt, does non-ABPC help with anhedonia? Yes, it certainly will. Maybe optimizing testosterone a little bit, but ultimately restoration of the dopamine system to the extent that it's possible in your brain and the extent that you dose it long enough to get that result at the right dose. Hardcore anhedonia, I'd be dosing 50 milligrams, 40, 50 days straight, 2-week break in between, run it again thereafter. That's what I'd be doing. But also at the same time, I'd get my hormones straight. Hormones modulate neurotransmitters so strongly, like anybody that has real anhedonia and their life is, their quality of life is suffering, I would be on hormones, definitely. They modulate neurotransmitters and sometimes fix neurotransmitter systems that are awry. They have the ability to do that, testosterone specifically. But also dihydrotestosterone. You might want to get crazy with it and get on some DHT cream or something. Any other questions, guys? If you got them, post them. I don't know if you guys got plans or if it's nice where you are, but today it's like 86 or something. It's gonna be like 80 something degrees. What is it like? It's already 77, dude. It's 10 in the morning, brother. Oh, it's gonna rain later? No way. At 1 p.m. and later? Fuck, brother. All good. Monday looks like it's gonna rain too here. Well, that's trashy. That's just trash. All right. Philippe, do I think HCG monotherapy would be better for high sex drive rather than TRT HCG? I feel like HCG is boosting my desire way more than test plus HCG. Interesting. I mean, if it's working for you, great. That's all I can say. Look, there's something to say about intratesticular function at the highest levels, which causes fucking libido. That's why HCG will revive libido in people. That's why I don't suggest you microdose unless estradiol is a real problem. And why I brought to light the analysis of various individuals and their lab work on microdosing HCG and how they weren't really getting a serum HCG level that was moving the needle. I personally respond better to at least 250 IU per injection, optimally 500 to 1,000 IU per injection. And I know that sounds fucking crazy, but my libido is utterly, so long as I'm controlling estradiol, my libido is insatiable with high doses of HCG. So maybe, that might work for you, man. BioBuilder says, I recall you mentioning that daily microadministration of testosterone causes constant conversion to aromatization, testosterone to estrogen, and this was not as ideal. Can you expand? Yes, definitely. It does. Yeah, again, there's this Reddit thread that I wish I had that summarized it so great. This guy goes, folks think what they do is adopt memes. And one of the memes is you want steady state hormones. That's a meme. That's just a meme, right? Because in real life, like without being on androgens, you don't have steady state hormones at all. Your numbers fluctuate, estradiol fluctuates, test fluctuates. You peak in the morning on test, you trough later in the evening or later in the day. So it's completely different. But basically how he worded it and how I would word it is Another meme is to inject every day. And you can do that with a long ester as long as you're dosing it low, real low, right? But ultimately, daily injections are for test prop, and phenylpropionate and things of this nature. They're not for anhedonia. They're not. That's not what they're made for. Irrefutably, okay. That's not what those esters are made for. They're not. They're made to be injected every 4th day, every 7th day, twice a week. That's really going to be the best results people are going to have on longer esters, mostly. And if you have side effects on that, you've got to go to prop. But listen, you get no trough of hormones. Okay. At 11 p.m., you're still sitting at 1200 nanograms per deciliter. I mean, maybe 1100 or 1050 when your peak is like 1250 or something 4 hours after injection, or 5 hours or 6 hours after injection, or something in the morning, in the afternoon. But as a result, and especially if you're injecting daily, you get spillover. Okay. You have spillover of estradiol. You have steady aromatization. You're fucking constantly aromatizing. Boys. On long esters, uber steady state injected every single day. You're constantly aromatizing. I fucking hate how I feel on long esters with daily injections with high doses. Anything above like 120. Constantly aromatizing, dude. Constantly fucking aromatizing. And I'm a low aromatizer. I don't know how people get away with it. I think people are just running Cialis, or they're running DHT derivatives, or they're doing something else, or they're fucking lying about how they have sexual function on, longer esters, at daily administrations. It just, I've not seen it. I've seen the opposite. I've seen continuous problems, man. Every other day a guy hits me up. Saw your videos on prop. Cypionate's fucking me up, man. I've gone down to 120. I've gone down to 105. Estradiol's just at the top of the range, or in range, still no sexual function. Now I'm not anabolic. They get on prop and their life changes. And whatever. But anyway, so yeah, daily micro administrations can be good for some people. I've not really seen a whole lot of it, but I have to leave room for the possibility that does work for people, because it seems as if it does, and everybody's different. So I can't just like negate the efficacy of that. But look, you're in a constant state of aromatization when you have medium to high doses of long esters injected daily, especially if you're doing it sub-Q. You're going to be better off doing intramuscular, because you had a peak and then a fucking trough, more of a trough. But you're doing sub-Q long ester every day. Like the originators of cypionate and the idea of a longer ester are going to look at you and go, what the fuck are you doing? And then they're going to recognize, oh, it became a meme on the web, and they're going to go, people are all fucked up. We didn't intend for this to be the case. Long esters are best dosed twice a week. Maybe every other day, but twice a week. Bolus injections at once if you can stand it, if you can't, go to prop. Test cream, best for energy. The energy that I got from it was so powerful, it was too much, and I didn't feel good. Like, and if I dialed the application amount down on cream, then the insatiable libido that I got from cream would lessen, and I didn't like that. So I couldn't really find a sweet spot. For experimentation's sake, I might go at it again in the future. I have a bunch of cream. Who knows? There's just a lot I still haven't tried, like, tandem test plus cream, like just injectable little base test base in the morning, cream maybe at night or something like that. Not tried that, but dude, the energy is very powerful. Shit onsets very quickly. You hear that from everybody that takes cream. You got to find your dose. Like, I bet if I ran, I don't know, I didn't want to dose it low. If I ran 1 pump in the morning and 1 pump at 5 p.m., I probably wouldn't have that issue. But again, I don't think the sexual function would be as good. Like, cream and prop were definitely the best sexual function. Fucking insane, dude. Boom. Okay. Thoughts on 21 milligram patch of keeping the patch on only for a few hours. If that's nicotine, I think it's still going to be too stimulating. Yep. Have you tried TREN? Yep. I'm on it right now. Can't you tell? No, I wouldn't. I just wouldn't. I've had too many clients come to me that are into like weird kinds of porn, and their relationship with their wives are being affected by it because they're on TREN. And people that had fucking elevated prolactin. What the fuck else was going on? There were some other blood markers that were skewed. I forget. Breathing problems was one that came from a guy that was on Trenbolone. So me personally, I don't know. I mean, I'm not a bodybuilder. Like, I'm just a a dapper dude, that's trying to be in, like, I'm just trying to be in pretty good shape, not trying to be yoked out of my mind. So I don't think I would do that. TREN can turn you into a horny goat. Yes. Oh, even your friend Vigorous Steve, which I admire. I think he's on TREN now. Yeah. And the fucking changes your libido, maybe via progestogenic activity, but, there's no question. But if anybody's equipped to take TREN, it'd be Steve. The guy runs labs. He's comprehensive about what's happening inside of his body and the lab work that he gets. And, I don't think he's the type to ignore side effects very long. He'll look into it. He'll probably try to figure out what the fuck's going on. So you gotta watch a lot of Vigorous Steve content and understand all the stuff that he knows to be getting into that. That's why, if I was running cycles of any steroids, that'd be the guy to fucking watch. I would binge all his videos if I was that person. But I don't think I'll try Trembolone. I have a lot of Proviron, which I'm probably going to run at a small dose, 12.5 a day. At some point, my protocol right now is like fine and whatever. I'll switch to Prop again, probably somewhat soon, and dial that in quickly. And then from there, maybe try some Proviron. I don't know. I've got access to Anavar if I wanted it, literally from my clinic. They'll give me Anavar if I want it. So, maybe I'll run some oxandrolone. Therefore, other than that, my clinic also has Winstrol. I don't know. I don't think I would do that via liver toxicity issues or concerns. So I don't think you can stay on low dose of TREN forever. But maybe people who are more versed in this could tell you otherwise. Pseudopup says, is there anything you should not combine with uridine? Again, tyrosine, uridine together probably cancel the effects out for some people. Mucuna would be safe to add. Trying to repair dopamine issues from long-term medication. Okay, I wouldn't use uridine for that. I would use 9-AMP-BC and citicoline. You are welcome, brother. Matt, running AIs. What day would be best to test to know your dose to run? Day 2, and then day 3, and then day 6. If you want to be really optimal, it's going to be, cumbersome to do this. Really cumbersome, bro. Yeah, so again, I was at 35 picograms per milliliter. This was a year and a half ago when I did this experiment. Took 0.125 milligrams of anastrozole. That took me down to 18 picograms per milliliter at the peak of anastrozole, which was one day later, so the very next day. Then on day 3, I tested again, and I was at 23 picograms per milliliter. So it went from 35 to on day 2, the second day after I dosed it, well, that's basically day 1, 18. And then on the next day from that, I was at 23. So it was already going back up. So in that particular case, 0.125 every 6th day would be the dose for me at that particular time. Because I really like this 15 to 25 picograms per milliliter range for sexual function. I just feel amazing, in that range. I don't have issues typically. Below 15, I'll start having joint pain and all that stuff. So that's my take on that. Gentle sirs. Any other questions? If you got them, ask them. Otherwise, we'll close out the stream and wish you guys off and a happy Memorial weekend. Don't forget, though, Memorial Day, I don't want to sound like one of those entitled fucking veterans, but I am a veteran and did go to Iraq and did watch people that I know and loved and trained with die. Memorial Day is about that. So just think about that when you're barbecuing. All right, boys? All right. On that note, I'm going to end the stream. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, guys. I hope you get some good vitamin D and some sun and have some fun. Enjoy Monday off because I'm sure most of you have it off, which is great. Back to content on Wednesday, so look forward to that. Specials on both of our nootropic stacks. Codes are in the description. You're going to save a lot of money on both stacks right now. 3 slots left on big coaching programs. People are going to end at some point in the future, so slots may reopen. But do note that if I get booked very quickly, I got to close them down and you can't get on for a while. Epic questions, guys. Have a great weekend. Happy Memorial Day. And I will see you this coming week for content.